In the vast and often silent landscapes of the Americas, there are sounds that command immediate, instinctual attention. Few are as potent, as clear, or as universally understood as this. Hearing a rattlesnake's rattle is one of the most unambiguous warnings in the natural world, a message honed by millennia of evolution, and it should never, under any circumstances, be ignored. This isn't the sound of aggression, but of apprehension. It is a final, desperate plea for peace from an animal that would much rather be left alone. It is a sound that speaks directly to the primal parts of our brain, a sonic boundary line drawn in the dust. To cross it is to choose a path of unnecessary peril. Unlike so many predators that depend on the element of surprise, on stealth and silence to secure a meal, the rattlesnake often chooses to announce its presence. It gives a deliberate, unmistakable auditory signal, a sophisticated piece of communication designed expressly to de-escalate and prevent conflict. This is a creature that has evolved a way to say no without resorting to its most formidable weapon. The snake isn't spoiling for a fight, it's actively trying to avoid one. The flicking tongue tastes the air, gathering chemical information, while the heat-sensing pits located between the eyes and nostrils create a thermal image of the world, allowing it to perceive the warmth of an approaching body long before it comes into view. This advanced sensory apparatus means the snake is aware of you far sooner than you are of it. The rattle is the result of that awareness. In its purest form, the rattle exists to say, "You are too close." It is a clear, concise and urgent message. The sound itself is produced by a series of hollow, interlocking segments of keratin, the same protein that makes up our hair and fingernails. These segments are not loosely filled with beads, as is commonly believed. The sound comes from the segments themselves clicking against one another. With each shed of its skin, a new segment is added at the base. When threatened, powerful, specialized muscles in the tail, known as shaker muscles, contract with incredible speed, vibrating the tail up to 90 times per second. This creates the distinctive high-frequency buzz that is so effective at cutting through the ambient sounds of the wilderness. When that chilling sound is heard, it signifies a critical moment. It means a venomous snake has already detected you, assessed you as a potential threat, and now feels cornered enough to prepare its ultimate defense. The snake is not hunting you. It perceives you as a predator, a large, unpredictable creature that could easily crush it. Its posture shifts from relaxed camouflage to a tense, defensive S-coil. The head is raised, the eyes are fixed, and every muscle is primed for action. This is the final stage of its warning display. It has given you the courtesy of a signal, a chance to retreat. To the snake, any further advance is interpreted as a direct and imminent attack on its life. Should the warning go unheeded, the consequence is delivered with breathtaking efficiency. Rattlesnakes strike with incredible speed, often faster than the human eye can reliably track. A strike can be launched, make contact, and retract in less than 1/10 of a second. This is not a clumsy lunge, but a highly accurate, calculated movement. They can strike out to a distance of about 1/3 to 1/2 of their body length, a fact that is often dangerously underestimated. The snake doesn't need to be perfectly coiled to strike. It can do so from almost any position if sufficiently provoked. This explosive speed leaves absolutely no time for human reaction. Once the decision to strike is made, the event is, for all practical purposes, instantaneous. The strike delivers the snake's most precious resource, its venom. This is not a simple poison, but a complex and highly evolved cocktail of toxins, primarily proteins and enzymes, tailored to immobilize prey and begin the process of digestion. Their venom is a devastatingly effective mix of toxins that can destroy tissue, disrupt blood clotting, and in some species powerfully affect the nervous system. Most rattlesnake venoms are primarily hemotoxic, meaning they target the blood and tissues. They cause catastrophic damage to red blood cells, prevent blood from clotting, and lead to severe internal bleeding and the rapid breakdown of muscle and skin tissue. Other species, like the Mojave rattlesnake, possess a potent neurotoxic component that attacks the nervous system, leading to paralysis and respiratory failure. The venom is injected through a pair of long, hollow fangs that fold back against the roof of the mouth when not in use. During a strike, they swing forward and penetrate the target like hypodermic needles, delivering their lethal payload deep into the tissue. The aftermath of a venomous bite is a severe medical emergency. Even with the immediate availability of modern antivenom, bites can lead to excruciating pain, massive swelling, extensive tissue necrosis, and long-term or permanent damage. The financial cost of treatment can be astronomical, often running into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if treatment is delayed, the consequences become far more dire, potentially leading to amputation or, in the worst cases, death. The idea of a dry bite, where no venom is injected, does occur, but it is a gamble one should never be willing to take. Assuming any bite is a venomous one is the only safe course of action. Ignoring the warning, therefore, is not an act of bravery, but of profound foolishness. It removes the one and only chance nature and the snake itself gives you to avoid that risk entirely. The snake has offered a peaceful resolution. It has communicated its fear and its boundary. To disregard that communication is to force its hand, leaving it with no alternative but to defend its life with the only tools it has. The responsibility for the encounter, escalating from a warning to a bite, lies squarely with the individual who failed to listen. The genius of this warning system lies in its perfect adaptation to its surroundings. The rattle itself is a highly effective acoustic device precisely because its sharp, broadband frequency carries exceptionally well through the dry grass, rocks and brush that constitute the typical environments where rattlesnakes live. A lower-pitched sound would be absorbed and muffled by the dense ground cover, but the high-frequency buzz of the rattle cuts through, remaining audible over considerable distances and making its source relatively easy to pinpoint. It is an alarm bell, perfectly tuned to its habitat. This remarkable sound allows hikers, grazing animals, and even large, potentially threatening mammals like bison or deer to do one simple thing: stop, locate the source of the danger, and back away slowly. It is a shared language of caution in the wild. The sound triggers an immediate reflexive pause. This moment of stillness is crucial. It prevents a panicked stampede that could trample the snake and allows the larger animal to identify the snake's position and give it a wide berth. It is a system that benefits both parties, preventing injury to the snake and a potentially fatal bite to the intruder. Given this effective warning system, it's telling that most rattlesnake bites occur under specific circumstances. They happen when people simply don't hear the rattle, perhaps due to wearing headphones or the wind, or the snake being surprised at such close quarters it strikes without a chance to rattle first. They also happen when people hear the sound, but foolishly dismiss it as something else, like an insect. But a significant portion of bites happen when people intentionally attempt to move, handle, harm or kill the snake. These are not accidents. They are the predictable outcomes of provocation. The snake is simply defending itself against a direct, aggressive threat. To truly appreciate the rattle as a warning, it's also critically important to understand that rattlesnakes do not want to waste their venom. This precious fluid is not an infinite resource. It is used primarily for hunting, to quickly subdue the small mammals, birds and lizards that make up their diet. A defensive bite on a large creature like a human is, from the snake's perspective, a complete and total waste. Venom is metabolically expensive to produce. It requires a significant investment of energy and specific proteins that the snake could otherwise use for growth and reproduction. After envenomating a large animal in defense, the snake is left vulnerable. Its primary tool for hunting is depleted, and it may take several weeks to replenish its supply to full strength. During this time, it cannot effectively hunt for food. Therefore, biting a non-prey animal is always, without exception, a last resort. Seen in this light, the rattle is a brilliant evolutionary compromise. It is a costly, high-energy attempt to scare off a perceived threat without having to engage in physical contact and waste its vital venom. It is the snake's way of saying, "I am here, I am dangerous, but I will not harm you if you just leave me be." It is a negotiation, an offer of peace extended from a creature that holds a weapon of last resort. When people ignore that negotiation, when they press forward, get closer for a photograph, or try to poke it with a stick, the snake's options rapidly disappear. It has already invested energy in its warning display. Its bluff has been called. From its perspective, the threat is not retreating. It is escalating. The window for a peaceful resolution has closed, and the instinct for self-preservation takes over completely. The strike becomes the only remaining choice. In the wild, and indeed in life, warnings exist for a reason. They are nature's safety mechanisms, evolved to prevent harm and maintain balance. The vibrant colours of a poison dart frog, the pungent spray of a skunk, and the unmistakable buzz of a rattlesnake are all expressions of the same fundamental principle. Respect the boundary and you will be safe. They are not challenges to be tested, but wisdom to be heeded. Therefore, hearing a rattlesnake is not an invitation to investigate or an opportunity for a thrilling encounter. It is a clear and urgent signal to stop all movement immediately. Stay calm, as panic leads to poor decisions. Your first task is to locate the snake without moving your feet. Once you have identified its position, you must give the animal the space and respect it is demanding. Slowly, deliberately, back away, moving in the opposite direction until you are well clear and the rattling has ceased. This simple act of listening and respecting the warning is almost always enough to ensure a safe outcome for both you and the snake. It costs nothing but a moment of your time and a measure of humility. Ultimately, listening to that sound, understanding its meaning, and acting upon it accordingly can mean the difference between walking away safely with a memorable story and becoming the subject of a life-changing medical emergency. It is a choice, and the rattle empowers you to make the right one.